understand, this past Saturday, Bill Burr hosted he hosted SNL. And I didn't watch it because I don't really watch SNL. I've seen some of their stuff on occasion, but I don't really find them particularly funny. I remember I used to like Mad TV more than SNL. There are some things that SNL has done that's been pretty funny, but for the most part, I think their best days are kind of behind them. So I just haven't really been all that interested. Plus, I'm not really into comedy, as you guys know. So it's not really anything that I kind of just am drawn to. Anyway, so I understand Bill Burr, like I said, hosted this past Saturday, which was, I don't know, whenever he hosted SNL. It was his first time, apparently. And I saw that there were videos going around of his monologue or his hosting or whatever, but I didn't really watch it because I don't know. I felt like it would be, I don't know why, honestly, to tell you the truth, I'm not exactly sure why. I think maybe because I kind of feel like I know a little bit more about where Bill Burr's head is at as far as certain things, like based on some things people have told me, that he's kind of like he's fallen into the mentality of buying into the whole notion of white privilege, and that's a whole other subject matter, but whatever. And also he's kind of like softening on his stance against feminism, and that this is probably very much directly related to the influence his wife has had on him. So I was like, well, I don't know. Is he going to go there? Is he going to do all this sort of woke nonsense type stuff? And you guys know what I'm talking about. But then I saw it on, I think it was a Facebook. I think my brother posted up something. He shared something that someone else had posted about, there was this article about how his monologue was just like, people were, I can't remember the exact wording, but people were all offended over his monologue. Oh, it was just so offensive. So then I was thinking, well, I don't know, maybe it is worth checking out. Maybe he did push the right sort of buttons. And if there are so many people supposedly so agitated at whatever it was he said on his monologue, then maybe those were the type of people that he was actually specifically talking about. I kind of got the sense that the tone of it is pertaining to a Karen type people. And you guys know what I mean when I say Karen. So I decided I would go ahead and check it out. I don't really know the specific stuff. I just have a very broad sort of idea. So it's not terribly long. It's about 7.5 minutes. I'll go ahead and start it. And if I feel the need to pause during whatever it is he's saying, I'll do that. So, okay, here we go.
Thank you.
There we go.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I am so excited to be here. I have been doing stand-up forever, and this has always been a lifelong dream of mine to come here and host Saturday Night Live. So thank you so much for coming out. During these difficult times, you guys all look like surgeons with your masks on.
All right.
Makes me feel comfortable that you're wearing masks. I like people who wear masks. That's good. You're listening to the eggheads, the people we all cheated off of in high school, right? Keep listening to them. And then if you don't wear a mask, that doesn't bug me either, right? Take out your grandparents, you know? Take out your weak cousin with the asthma. I don't care. It's your decision. There's too many people. It's a dream come true. If you're that dumb and you want to kill your own family members, by all means do it. Stops you from reproducing. It's literally a dream come true. And speaking of dreams come true,
No.
Did you see Rick Moranis got sucker punched on the Upper West Side?
Yeah.
New York is back, baby! New York is back! Yeah.
That's not really something to be very proud of, is it? Yeah, that was terrible. I saw the video of that, and that was awful. It looked like some asshole playing the knockout game or something, and I hope they catch him. If they haven't already. Maybe they have. I haven't heard, but I hope they catch him. Anyway, okay. Oh, someone made the comment, oh, who would punch out Rick Moranis? He's so nice, or whatever. Well, the dude didn't even know who the heck he was. Just some idiot. Okay.
Is back! Yes! We lost our edge there for a minute. City started looking like a giant Bed Bath & Beyond, and then bam! Oh, Ricky took one in the chops. It had to happen. That's what happens when you stick an M&M store in Times Square. All right? The universe has to balance itself.
Okay.
Get the peep shows back in Times Square. Old people can walk safely 40 blocks away. I don't know. I'll probably get canceled for doing that joke. You know, how stupid is that cancel thing? They're literally running out of people to cancel.
Right.
They're going after dead people now.
Yeah.
They're trying to cancel John Wayne. It's like, yeah, dude, God did that 40 years ago. They're all up in arms. They're like, did you hear what he said in that interview in Playboy in 1970? Can you believe that? It's like, yeah. He was born in 1907. That's what these people sounded like.
Right. So context. Well, as far as, thinking about the time, that period the time that period we're in. What the heck? The time period people were in. And it did affect the way they thought about things. And so, okay. So for instance, someone like Lincoln, he is very highly revered among a lot of people. But the truth of the matter is, if you dig in more into his history and everything, you find out that by today's standards, well, even back then, but by today's standards, he was most definitely a racist. Now, his thinking may have likely evolved over time, but he said some extremely racist things, you guys. And he's held as a hero by many different people. And I guess in some ways he held the Union together and all that stuff. He was a little shady, some of the things he did when it came to the Emancipation Proclamation. But I won't get into that. Let's just say this is not things that are taught to most people in school. I didn't find out about it until I was reading some historical romance book. I found out certain things that were not taught, and I didn't believe it. And then I checked, and it ended up that we were basically lied to by omission. Anyway, whatever. The point he's making still stands. It's crazy to go back and try to destroy people like this. I think it is because people are running out of people to cancel. And that's really it's pretty disturbing to me. It's like I said in another video, I really feel like this is happening. This is really generally only happening in first world countries. Life is so good for people. They are getting bored and they're trying to invent things to be outraged about. And it's really just, it's such destructive thinking. It seriously is. I don't get it. I have really little to no tolerance for it because of how divisive and destructive it is. And I really wish people would just grow the heck up. Anyway, whatever. I can get on my little rant. Sorry. Okay, let's proceed. Go back a little bit. I wish they had like a little, like go back 10 seconds button thingy on here, but they don't. It would be really helpful for stuff like this. Okay, here we go.
Sounded like you never talked to your grandparents and brought up the wrong subject, and all of a sudden it went off the rails. Like, oh, grandma, just keep making the cookies. Yeah, you don't bring up race or religion with your grandparents. You keep it simple. Anyway, I don't know. I guess my grandparents are older. I don't know. Plowing ahead. Plowing ahead. Let's talk white women here, shall we? Let's talk white women. White women, you're amazing your accomplishments over the last few years. I got to tell you, the way white women somehow hijack the woke movement, generals around the world should be analyzing this. Just to refresh your memory, the woke movement was supposed to be about people of color not getting opportunities, the at-bats that they deserved, finally making that happen. And it was about that for about 8 seconds. And then somehow, white women swung their Gucci-booted feet over the fence of oppression and stuck themselves at the front of the line. I don't know how they did it. I've never heard so much complaining in my life from white women. My life is so hard. With my SUV and my heated seats. You have no idea what it's like to be me. Trash and white guys. The nerve. Where's the camera? The nerve of you white women. Listen, I don't want to speak ill of my bitches here, okay? I don't. But let's go back in history here, okay? You guys stood by us toxic white males through centuries of our crimes against humanity. You rolled around in the blood money, and occasionally, when you wanted to sneak off and hook up with a black dude, if you got caught, you said it wasn't consensual. Yeah, that's what you did. That's what you did. So why don't you shut up, sit down next to me, and take your talking to? Thank you.
Take your talking to. As far as I think I know where he's coming from when he's saying this sort of thing. I don't think really anybody needs to be. Well, I wouldn't say anybody. That's too general. But I would say that I don't think really most people need a talking to unless they have directly done something to somebody. I don't like this whole let's just preach at a whole group of people because of history and whatever. I think that is also extremely destructive behavior, and I don't really. This sounds like obviously maybe an influence coming from the way his wife probably thinks, but he does have a point. I guess he's referring to the Karen types, or maybe not necessarily Karen types, but like just something I have noticed as far as the like certain movements, right? About people who are oppressed or groups who are disadvantaged or whatever. Some of the loudest, most vocal people speaking up on behalf of these supposedly oppressed groups or whatever are white, privileged women. Now, when I say privileged, I don't mean privilege in the sense because they're white. I just mean privilege in the sense that they have a fairly nice life. They're pretty comfortable financially. They're not out on the streets, you know what I mean? Like people who have their life is pretty comfortable. That's what I mean. Like that type of privilege, which, green privilege, I guess you would say. And they're the ones that are causing so much of an uproar and are causing so much just like friction and fighting. And they're the ones that will go after someone the hardest when they get mad at something, because they're virtue signaling so hard to make sure everybody knows what a good person they are. It's like, why do you have to advertise how virtuous you are? You shouldn't have to do that. Your actions should speak that. You don't need to be preaching to people. I think that's the type of person. I mean, he's talking about them stepping their little Gucci boots over the wall of oppression or whatever and acting like they're so disadvantaged. But I'm not really seeing it so much that, I mean, I am when it comes to them talking about being oppressed by men or whatever. But I'm seeing more the other thing that I was talking about. Like, it's like they're trying to take over the narrative and they're trying to preach to everybody about how things should be. But whatever. Okay, let me go back some.
Thank you. So, I haven't been in New York for about a year. You know, I was here last year. I was shooting a movie. Had a great time with Judd Apatow, Pete Davidson, and all the guys. Yeah, had a great time. And I hadn't been here in like 13 years, and I immediately noticed how extra crowded the city was. And I was getting all claustrophobic. I'm like, what's going on? How much are people not using safe sex and making all these babies, you know? So I finally walked up to this old New York door guy, and I was just like, dude, what's going on? What's with all these people here? And he was just like, oh, no, don't worry. He goes, it's June. He goes, it's Pride Month. And I'm like, what's that? You know, I'm 52. I never heard of it, right?
Really?
Didn't have that when I was a kid. He goes, oh, it's Gay Pride Month. And I was just like, oh. Dude, you know when you're just like stuck in the Matrix and you just can't, everything's just pressed up, you can't see anything? And then somebody gives you that little nugget of information that just pulls it back. Like, why is it so crowded? It's Gay Pride Month. Tank tops. 0% body fat. 2 guys kissing. Rainbow flags. I didn't know that. That's what I learned. The month of June is Gay Pride Month. That's a little long, don't you think? For a group of people that were never enslaved.
You're rumbling.
How did they get all of June? Dude, black people were actually enslaved. They get February,
which has the least.
They get
amount of
28 days of overcast weather. Sun goes down at 4 in the afternoon. Everybody's shivering. Nobody wants to go on the parade. Look, yeah. How about you hook them up with July? These are equator people. Give them the sun for 31 days. There's gay black people. They could celebrate from June 1st, June 31st, 61 days of celebrating. All right, that's all my time. We got a great show for you guys, everybody. Jack White is here. It's going to be amazing. Please stick around. We'll be right back.
Okay, it's done. It's done for the most part. Okay, so this was so short. Well, not really. I mean, I've seen some stuff shorter than this, but I don't get why people are so terribly offended over this. Is it because he was specifically targeting? I guess because he was specifically targeting white women. So either they're going to go after him because race, or because sexism. I'm guessing. Honestly, I don't really see why too many people would be all upset about, especially the woke crowd. I don't see why, because to me, a lot of, even though I get the point he's making, and I agree with how, like I said, how, white women run around and virtue signal very hard. It's not just white women, you guys, everybody does it, but it seems like they are the most vocal about it. But basically his narrative seems to be right up their alley. So I'm not sure who else really annoyed with it. I mean, I did see an article that some people were aggravated about it, but people are mad or they're offended or whatever. Everybody's offended these days. But I don't get why. So I'm not sure. I feel like I need to read a little bit more into that to see who specifically is the one taking offense. Anyway, whatever. I don't know. Color me a little confused on this, you guys, because I'm not. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm just a little bit tired because it is tomorrow already. And this was last minute. I was not intending to watch this. So I'm feeling like I'm kind of, I don't really have a whole lot to offer. And I'm still sort of processing what he's saying and still kind of just perplexed. I think as soon as I turn this off, I'm going to run along and see if I can find more about why people are upset at this. I didn't find it all that offensive, but then I don't necessarily get super offended by things. I disagree with stuff. I disagree with some of the stuff he was talking about, but it just like I don't know. Everybody's offended by something. You know how it is. Okay. Well, sorry. This feels really lackluster, and I don't know. Yeah, it's because it's late, and I'm a little distracted. My dog has not been feeling well lately, so I kind of part of my brain is on her right now. So, okay. Well, I'm gonna wrap this up. Don't want to yammer just for the sake of it. So I guess I will see you guys later. Adios.